What up, gang? This is part 2 for emergency fund, day 19. Getting used to talking to the camera. And someone asked about HYSA, which is a high yield savings account. I used to have one with Synchrony Bank, and then I had one. No, and then I was looking at one with Ally, but I went with Synchrony Bank. Now it looks like SoFi is the one that gets you the most interest back. So that's the one I would go with. Personally, I don't have one anymore. I drained that to go into my ATM business. So I feel like it's a super rare scenario, but if you do have a business where the cash kind of funds it, that's basically what I use for my emergency fund. So for me, if there's emergency, I can pull out cash from my ATM vaults and utilize it that way. I know that has nothing to do with you, but if I were you, I would probably go with SoFi. I'm not partnering with them. Wish I was. Maybe they can throw me some money. But anyway, that's who I would go with. NerdWallet is a good source to use. Nerdwallet.com. They're usually pretty up to date with stuff like that. But I wanted to tie it into an emergency fund because that should be your high yield savings account in there. That's what you should be using for an emergency fund-ish. I would make sure that you can access the funds within 24 hours. So if they have like a Zelle on the, because most of these are online accounts. SoFi, I'm almost positive it's online, but if they have like a Zelle where you could Zelle it to your, like your physical bank, if you have like Wells Fargo or Bank of America, wherever that is, if you can Zelle it, then that's like immediate. But emergency funds, you should be able to reach the funds in 24 hours unless you have some other sort of way to figure it out. Like if you want to utilize, sorry, I'm still getting over something. If you wanted to utilize like a credit card, you can, let's say you need $500 all of a sudden for something, but you don't have access to your immediate emergency fund. Take your credit card, spend the $500 on the credit card because you know it's in the emergency fund. Take the emergency fund, bring it to the bank account that's hooked up to the credit card. And that's how you can utilize your money in more ways so you can still get your credit card points. Yeah, I hope that answers that. This one's going to be a little bit longer because I wanted to add in a personal story of why an emergency fund kind of saved my life. Saved my life. That's hella. It didn't save my life, okay? But it did help. It didn't save my life. I don't know why I said that. So this was back when I worked for an apartment complex. I was the assistant to the regional manager, shout out office. And basically, long story short, I wound up getting demoted back to like a leasing agent, which was crazy to me because I've never been fired. I've never been demoted from anything when it comes to a job. And super embarrassing, really. So anyway, talked with wifey. I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna just quit because this is crazy. And so she trusted me make that decision. She said, go for it. Because I had like 2.5 months or 3 months saved up anyway. So that was the emergency fund that I already had back then. And I was able to just quit and then look for another job in the meantime. And that was a really good decision because I wound up finding a job. It's the job I'm at now. And it was just better overall. So sometimes, when you think that like crazy stuff is happening or like, damn, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? You might just end up finding something even better. And that's what I did. So, yep, that's it. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below. Or if you have something else you want me to talk about, let me know. I can add it to my list and we'll go from there. All right, peace.